and welcome to a VR track guide, a driver's eye track guide, I should say, for the driving course at the Dakota County Technical College skid pad in Rosemont, Minnesota. My name is Ted Hough. I'm an SCCA racing instructor and driver of 6 years, and today we're at the first event of the Gary Curtis driving experience since moving from BIR to this site at DCTC in my 1984 Porsche SPEC944 that I race in the NASA Great Lakes region. If you like some of this live onboard with narration from an instructor, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, please. God, I'm lonely. No gloves today, because this isn't a full race. I don't need my net or my gloves. Also, I forgot them at home, because it's my first weekend running with this car. Looks like we're going to find ourselves a nice clear spot out on track here in a second. Got into a nice clear hole there. You'll see from my pedal cam that my driving position is a little bit uncomfortable today, because I'm not quite used to using the car yet. Gonna tap the brakes up, turn one. Still getting used to this brand new car that I bought. Seat position isn't in the best place. I kind of like where the wheel is though. I got a nice Mobo Mod 27D cut, 250mm on here. A wheel you typically lose in a smaller car. Something that isn't production based. Maybe a Spec Racer Ford or Formula 3, but hey, works for me, helps keep my fat tummy under the wheel. Third for this quick flick here. Sometimes I like to take that in Ford just for a little bit more understeer, but I find that the grip when you tack up in there is quite handy in third. This car, 2.5 liter old Porsche 944, really rips and tears when you get around here. It's got a lot more torque than a lot of small inline 4 cars like Miatas do, because the motor's even a little bit under-squared, one might say, meaning that the stroke, I believe, is longer than the bore, so it gets more torque than power. Only about 120 horsepower out of these, 114 when they're brand new in stock, nice and fresh. But man, for an inline 4, a lot of torque, so we're going to get to the fourth. Make sure we're keeping our eyes aimed at the second marker baller there, so we're all the way through, and we should be able to be flat, especially with the amount of grip this car has. Tightening my left shoulder belt, looking at my mark. Okay, now down, third, flip, off, and in. There you go. Don't mind grabbing fourth there sometimes just to help the car set in. Really, really nice around here. And again, brake marks at the 3, braking about the 2. Keep it in fourth to keep the car tucked in there. Getting down third, nice late apex simple 90 left here near the property line. And again, just keep it in third at the end of the last sector, nice and smooth here. And getting the car over. Combination section there, you want to make sure that you come all the way out over to the left to get over to the right, because it's double right's more important in terms of overall lap time than trying to be over on the racing line for that singular left. So instead of trekking out to driver's right there, you want to make sure that you're all the way over. Nice and flat here through the exit. And again, we're just going to get fourth. Nice tip. Tip in point. Fourth right before the asphalt patch. In and through. And around the bollards. Nice. Nice and easy. Just keeping the wheel working smooth. We're going to try for 2 gear changes this time. A little bit cleaner brake release by me that time. Started my bleed earlier. I quite like that. I might keep doing that in fifth for the braking zone instead of fourth. Just because I like the way it balances out. Maybe not faster, certainly more comfortable. Red line in this car only about 6,000 RPM, but as you can hear, quite a lovely engine note. Again, because of the comparatively large size of the inline 4 in this car. In my opinion, the engine note almost sounds more like a straight 6. Really good sounding cars, these NASA Porsche SPEC944 cars. Wow, that was almost a sentence in English. Up behind this little Italian Cinquecento Fiat 500 Abarth here. I'm going to get the car tucked up. Following him around. He's nice. He's clean. I like those lines. Maybe a little bit wide there on the exit. I'm all the way through. Looking left all the way past him so we can still spot our apex. He's going to let me by the next zone most likely. As you can see, we're about as fast in a straight line. So I'm going to actually back out just a little bit so he can be ready for me. He's going to go left and signal. Thank you, sir. Passing by point by contract only here, of course, at the Gary Curtis Driving Experience. Nice little track day. Very, very nice. I first learned how to drive a road course in my Legends car with these guys, and it was an amazing first time on the track. Now, I don't like the inner curb there. I'd rather apex that slightly later and come in a bit wider across that curb. I was a bit early that time, because I tried looking in a bit sooner with my eyes. So, that little bit of extra tightness down to the inside meant that I caught some stuff that was off camber down there. And so it kind of kicked the back of the car up a little bit. I didn't like that too much. Whippa! God, this fucking car rips. Let's go, Ted Hough! Hook in, tap. There you go. A little bit of surface break up there in the left-hander or the hairpin. Might want to actually turn in slightly earlier than the ideal line just to avoid that. Tightening right now. Brakes up. There you go. Later across there is for sure better. Good. Excellent. Bellissimo. God, this corner fucking rips. Let's go. Way early turn in there, Ted. Come on, you know that's not good. Trying to avoid that breakup patch, but it really is right where you want to turn in. This car has no power steering, so I'm not sure if it's obvious from listening to me, but I'm pretty fucking winded right now. Woo! I used a little bit less brake pressure that time, so I got across the apex tighter because the reduction in brake pressure helped the front tires grip better that lap than previously. Because I was doing more with the steering grip and less with the braking grip. So that was pretty fucking good. I liked it through that time. Also, it helps. The tires on these are Toyo Pyroxys RRs, which I believe are a 180 or a 200 treadwear street legal track tire. So they're very, very hard and difficult to get up to temp on such a short course. But I'd say for quick 5-lap blitz or so, that's not a bad. It's not a bad little circuit there. I don't mind that at all. No, 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 sir, no. We're just gonna idle power forth all the way through. Now, here's a good thing to think about when doing cooldowns, okay? So, mark apex cone, all the way left to track out point. Eyes are gonna trace right and through. Bottom hill, left for cones, right for flagpole. I aim at that flagpole right there by the lane toss pad. I'm not sure if you can see those lights, but I aim at them and I look at them to help me get through there. And then again, all the way through. As you saw me last lap, this is just a little 5 or 10% brake tap at about the 1.8 marker board. And then we get in and through and make sure we look all the way nice and wide out. That way we can get in here, get everything done, get across. Again, nice and late apex because it's just a flat 90. All the way through and up. And again, all the way through. You don't want to track out fully here, so we're looking all the way left. Because we want to be on the left. I like to aim at this dirt patch here by where those two roads meet to come over right. I look up for the last reflector board here so that when I get at it, I can turn in and look all the way for the nice late apex cones. Seeing they've done a great job with the cone placement here this weekend. And then again, all the way through and crossed over. What you'll notice about all of these is a lot of these corners and combined sequences have late apexes. So you can follow up the entry line for the next corner appropriately. That's a really, really important thing to remember. About late apex, combined corners, especially at low speed, you're trying to get in there. Make sure I signal. Make sure that you're trying to get in there so that you can see all the way through, and that's super important. Because if you don't keep your eyes working forward like that, you lose track of where the car is, right? And if you lose track of where the car is, now we're going to leave the car in first gear with our foot off the brake so that we don't warp the brakes. It's a really important basic thing to remember. When you're doing something like a track day in a car, especially a street car that maybe has racing brake pads on it, but not many other modifications, if you leave your foot on the brakes after stopping, the car is going to warp the brakes. So it's really important to leave it in first, foot off the brake as soon as you can. I'm going to tuck it up over my left foot here. And sorry, I really need to oil my quick release because this is actually quite dangerous. I got my left tine. It's a pull-out quick release. It's quite sticky here. I'm going to doff my helmet because I am hot and this quick release is stuck. Ugh.